Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a completely new way of thinking about hormonal health, all based on the work of Dr. Erin Ellis. We're going to explore how we can move beyond just, managing symptoms and actually start finding real, lasting solutions. So let me start with a question. Have you ever been told that your hormonal symptoms are just normal? If you've dealt with frustrating things like PMS or fatigue or totally unpredictable cycles and were basically told, hey, that's just something you have to live with, then this one is for you. And this brings us to a really fundamental shift in perspective. What if those symptoms, what if they aren't the actual problem at all? What if they're actually important signals, your body's way of trying to tell you that something deeper is out of balance? According to Dr. Ellis, so many women find themselves on this treadmill. You get a prescription, right? It helps manage the symptom, but the underlying reason it's happening in the first place, that never gets addressed. It's a cycle of suppression, not resolution. And this cycle, well, it leads directly to what Dr. Ellis calls the symptom suppression trap. It's the standard approach that can often leave women feeling totally stuck and honestly, without any real answers. So what does this trap actually look like in the real world? Well, a lot of the time, it involves using things like birth control to basically silence the body's hormonal signals. And sure, it might make your cycle regular on paper, but it does it by completely overriding your natural system, not by fixing the core imbalance that's causing all the trouble to begin with. And this right here, this really shows two totally different ways of thinking. The conventional approach tends to ask, what is wrong? It's focused on a lab value that's out of range. But the root cause approach, it asks a much more powerful question. Okay, but why is it wrong? And that really gets to the core problem. As Dr. Ellis points out, these tools can have their place, of course, but so often they just act like a Band-Aid, leaving those deeper, unresolved issues to just keep going on under the surface. This insight leads us to a really big shift. It's not about finding a better tool to manage the problem. It's about asking a completely different and way more effective question from the very beginning. And here it is. This is the game-changing question. Instead of just identifying what's wrong on a lab report, we become detectives. We actually start investigating why the body is creating this hormonal imbalance. And that is where the real answers start to show up. And that why question? It opens up this fascinating investigation into the body's hidden network. It shows us that our hormones are not just operating in isolation, they're part of this complex, super interconnected system. This is a huge concept in root cause medicine. Hormones do not exist in a vacuum. Your hormonal health is deeply, deeply influenced by other major systems in your body, from your gut to your stress response all the way to your nutrient levels. Let's look at a few key examples of how this all works. Okay, let's dive in, starting with the gut, a connection that's so often overlooked. So inside your gut microbiome, there's a specific group of bacteria called the estrobolome. Its entire job is to help regulate your body's estrogen. So think about it. If your gut health is off, it can directly lead to things like estrogen dominance or deficiency, driving everything from hormonal acne to endometriosis. Next up, the stress connection. We often treat stress like it's all in our heads, but it is a powerful physical state. Your body's stress response system, it has a direct phone line to your reproductive system. When stress is chronically high, your body basically thinks it's in an emergency, and it literally tells your reproductive system to power down, which can suppress ovulation and cause your progesterone levels to tank. And finally, we have the nutrient connection, which is something so fundamental that it can easily get missed. Simple deficiencies can create these massive hormonal ripple effects. For instance, low vitamin D is linked to issues with fertility. Meanwhile, an iron deficiency can mess with your thyroid function. And your thyroid is basically the conductor of your entire hormonal orchestra. One little weak link can throw the whole thing off. So armed with this deeper understanding of how everything is connected, the goal makes a huge shift. We're no longer just happy with managing symptoms, we're now aiming to resolve them for good by getting to the root cause. Let's look at how this new approach works in practice. So instead of just seeing irregular cycles on a chart, a root cause practitioner might connect that signal to chronic stress. And then the intervention is stress management. Instead of just treating acne, they look to the gut. See, it's all about connecting the dots to find the real source of the problem. This path to resolution is a clear, empowering process. It's not a one-size-fits-all prescription. It starts with a really comprehensive assessment to get a full map of what's going on. From there, you pinpoint the true drivers of the imbalance, and then you build a sustainable, personalized plan to address them. And crucially, it educates you, turning you into the #1 advocate for your own health. If there's just one thing you take away from all of this, please let it be this powerful reframe from Dr. Ellis. Your symptoms are not a sign that your body is broken or that it's failing you. They are a form of communication. They're your body asking for help. And that leaves us with one final and maybe most essential question for you to think about on your own health journey. Instead of being frustrated by your symptoms, what if you got curious? What is your body trying to tell you?
I stopped trying to find a doctor who would listen, and I did this instead. For years, I was doing everything right. Eating clean, exercising, getting 8 hours of sleep, but I was still exhausted. I had constant brain fog, and my hormones felt completely out of whack. Every doctor told me my labs were normal, and it was probably just stress. I was about to give up until I found Holistic Health. It's a free AI wellness tool trained by functional medicine experts. I spent 5 minutes answering questions about everything: my symptoms, my sleep, my digestion, and it built me this. And this was the light bulb moment. It didn't just give me a list of problems, it connected the dots. It showed me how my gut health was likely impacting my hormones and how that was causing the fatigue and the brain fog. It even gave me a clear list of potential root causes, supplements to research, and even the specific lab tests to ask for. Its tip is secure. Over 77,000 people have used it, and it's 100% free to get your blueprint. If you feel like you're not being heard, start here. Understand your body first and then decide your next step.